Good morning, humans. I'm finally going to be discussing my first topic today. And if you have been following me on my social media sites, you would see that one thing I keep on sharing time and time again and tweeting and so on and so forth would be wolf related stuff. So, yes, my first topic is going to be about wolves. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Frank, how are wolves taboo and how is it controversial? Well, most of you are probably aware of this, and those who aren't aware of this, in this country and in many parts of the world, wolves are a very controversial topic, only because some people just don't want them around for one reason or another. They some want to protect them, and some just want to outright kill them. And in my blog post that I'm going to be attaching the link to at the bottom of this video in the description, you would see how I detail pretty much all the different reasons and causes and so on and so forth, and what wolves have gone through and what we've put them through, and essentially that we have been systematically and method have been just pretty much killing them for many decades and even hundreds of years, to the point where they were almost went extinct about approximately 100 years ago, where many countries essentially just got rid of them, to the point where there are no wild wolves living in those countries anymore, and there probably never will be. And even this country, America, up until the 1930s, almost systematically eradicated wolves too. The only place you would find wolves would be wild wolves, would be Alaska and the most northern parts of Minnesota. You really wouldn't find them in the other 50 states like how they used to be before, over 100 years ago, and even 150 years ago, when they were roaming very freely in anyone's backyard. Now you have to go really far or to one of those centers that are taking care of wolves in order to find them. So pretty much the blog post, I go into deeper description. I don't know really. I'm gonna summarize it. It's a lot. I wrote a lot. So definitely I suggest you check that out. But let's see. Pretty much, I talk about how we have a strange, violent intimacy with wolves. Those aren't my words. Pretty much, it's a foreword it's the title of a foreword in one of the books I read while doing my research on wolves. And I do feel we do have a strange, violent intimacy with wolves, and that's why we feel the way we do, I guess, in some form or another. And then also, hunters and livestock owners, they feel they need to, hunt the wolves down and pretty much kill them off. And the political aspect of that is that a lot of these agencies that handle wildlife are funded by, these hunting licenses and such. So, which is kind of ironic and a little bit contradictory when you really think about it, because why should an agency that's supposed to protect wildlife get funded primarily from people who pretty much don't want the wildlife to exist anymore and hunt them down and such? So, I discuss things like that in the blog, and I have a lot of websites I cite that provide a lot of good information that I unfortunately will not be able to recite to you completely, but just know that it's a myth. It's a really big myth that wolves attack livestock left or right. There's really, that's so over exaggerated. It's beyond belief, and it's just upsetting because wolves in particular, out of all the predators, make like half of a percent or less than 1% of all attacks and killings on livestock across our country. And it makes you think, wolves are killing thousands or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of livestock a day, when that's clearly not the case. And that's one thing that really I discuss in the blog post. And another thing is how wolves are beneficial for ecosystems, because since they've been almost wiped out and removed from a lot of areas, in particular Yellowstone National Park, that these areas essentially they died out because the wolves prey, like elk, because their populations soared to like really high. They would eat more plants and they wouldn't move around as much, so a lot of forest areas and meadows and such would just die. It was just a mess. And since wolves slowly started reintroducing themselves since the 1970s, and since humans did their own reintroduction of wolves in the 1990s, these areas, in particular Yellowstone National Park, over the last 20 years have come back to life. And you can tell that these areas are flourishing and the wolves are doing their job in the ecosystem, and they're helping bring back the of the areas. And that's the point that a lot of people don't, and they seem to forget, they seem to forget that when you remove an apex predator from any location, there's going to be a drastic and severe and catastrophic change to such location. And people think, nature can handle itself. And exactly, nature can handle itself if you just leave nature alone. But wolves there's such a multifaceted reason why, when you think about wolves, it's just it incites fear in so many people, and that's just it's because of lies, exaggeration, and the folklore and fairy tales of old that lead people to think, oh, that's true and this and that. But no, that's not the case at all. Wolves are almost like us. They're like the dog's version. Well, they are pretty much dogs. The wolves and dogs are actually almost exactly the same, by the way. And that's the other thing, is that we had such a relationship with wolves in the past that's why we have the dog today. And a lot of people forget about this relationship. A lot of people forget about that dogs came from wolves, and it is possible. And again, that's all discussed in my blog post for my Google Blogger. So, again, I have to empathize. I have to just let you know that wolves are a victim, and essentially we have a strange violent intimacy with them. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. Sorry, it's a little cold where I am right now, and I'm outside, and it's making me not really concentrate too well on what I had wrote. But alright. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do more videos on wolves. I'm actually gonna try to go to the Wolf Conservation Center, upstate New York, hopefully soon. Hopefully. And I hope that they allow me to actually film up there and record, and actually record some wolves. And actually, I've never met a wolf before, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope I can. If it doesn't happen soon, I will make sure it happens eventually. And I guess that's it for now, guys. Sorry. Again, I'm going through the motions with making these videos, and I'm trying my best here. I hope it's not too annoying for you, and I hope you do enjoy. And again, I'm going to use the Google Blogger to help me until I can get on my feet, so to speak. But after today, in the coming days and weeks, I'm going to be making more videos. I'm going to be doing other stuff, visiting different locations around where I live, and in New York City and elsewhere, hopefully. And, get this ball rolling. All right. Well, thank you again for listening and watching, and thank you for reading my Google Blogger. All right, until next time, guys. And humans and fellas and my peeps, my peoples, all of you out there who would eventually listen and watch this. Goodbye.